Lauren Tewes is a name that brings nostalgia to anyone who grew up watching The Love Boat. For many fans, she wasn't just an actress. She was Julie McCoy, the friendly and charming cruise director who guided passengers through adventures, romances, and fun on the high seas. But before she became this iconic figure, Lauren Tewes' journey began humbly as a child actor. Like many young actors, she started small, appearing in commercials and guest roles on television shows. One of her earliest appearances was in a 1974 Lipton iced tea commercial, a seemingly minor role that would nevertheless open doors to greater opportunities. This commercial helped her qualify for the Screen Actors Guild, giving her a path toward professional acting. It also allowed her to get an agent, which in the world of Hollywood can make all the difference. Her early career was marked by persistence and a kind of innocence that many child actors carry with them, a mix of excitement, curiosity, and the pressure to perform. In those early days, Lauren learned the craft of acting in small but significant steps, guest starring on popular shows of the time, including Police Story, Family, and Starsky and Hutch. Each role gave her experience, exposure, and a chance to develop her talents in front of the camera. She was charming, talented, and undeniably appealing, qualities that would later catch the attention of television producers who were always on the lookout for fresh faces for their projects. By the late 1970s, Lauren had built a solid foundation for her career, though she could not have known that her life would soon change dramatically with the offer to audition for what would become her most famous role. When Aaron Spelling, one of the most influential producers of the era, remembered her from these guest roles, he invited her to audition for the role of Julie McCoy on The Love Boat. Competing against hundreds of other actresses, Lauren had to demonstrate not only talent but also charm, grace, and the ability to connect with viewers in a way that few actors can. Her audition was impressive, but it was only after 3 pilots, a process that was far from typical in television, that she officially landed the part. This meant Lauren had to show resilience, adaptability, and determination, proving that she could handle both the pressures of a high-profile television role and the unpredictable nature of Hollywood casting. Her early days on set were full of learning experiences, nervous energy, and moments of genuine joy as she stepped into a role that would define her career. From her very first line, "Hello, I'm Julie McCoy, your cruise director. I'm here to see you have a good time," she captured audiences with her warmth, charisma, and approachable presence. Her character became a beloved fixture of the show, embodying the excitement and romance of cruise vacations while balancing the human emotions and challenges that made her relatable to viewers. In many ways, Lauren's journey to Julie McCoy was a story of hard work, opportunity, and the kind of timing that only a few actors experience in their careers. It was a combination of talent, persistence, and the right connections that helped Lauren Tewes rise from a child actor with modest beginnings to the cruise director who would sail into hearts of millions of television viewers around the world. Her story reminds us that success in Hollywood often comes through a combination of preparation, opportunity, and personal resilience, all of which Lauren displayed in abundance during her early career. Once Lauren Tewes became Julie McCoy, her life changed in ways she could never have imagined. Fame brought attention, fan mail, and a new set of expectations, both professionally and personally. Suddenly, she was not just an actress. She was a recognizable figure whose every move could be scrutinized. While the character of Julie McCoy was fun, lighthearted, and always composed, the reality behind the scenes was far more complex. Lauren had to navigate the pressures of celebrity life, maintaining her personal life while keeping up with the demands of a high-profile television show. She was still young, only a few years out of her early acting work, and she was learning how to manage the attention, the workload, and the scrutiny that came with national fame. In addition, the culture of Hollywood in the late 1970s and early 1980s was one where young actors were often exposed to environments that could be both exhilarating and destructive. Lauren herself admitted that the pressure to fit in, be popular, and maintain appearances sometimes led to unhealthy choices. This included experimenting with drugs, a decision she later described as part of the social pressures of the time. She once recalled, with honesty and courage, that her first encounter with drugs happened on a night when she was excited and trying to enjoy her new life in Hollywood. The excitement of newfound fame, combined with a desire to fit in with a crowd that included seasoned actors and other celebrities, created a scenario that could be difficult for anyone to navigate. Over time, this lifestyle began to affect her work, her health, and her personal life. While the character of Julie McCoy continued to charm viewers, Lauren's behind-the-scenes reality was far from glamorous. She struggled to balance work commitments, relationships, and personal challenges, leading to periods where her professional performance was impacted. Despite these difficulties, she continued to give her best on set, showing remarkable resilience. The production team noticed the changes in behavior and, as was often the case in Hollywood, had to make difficult decisions about her role on the show. Ultimately, these challenges led to Lauren being written off the Love Boat, a decision that reflected the combination of personal struggles, professional pressures, and contractual negotiations. While fans might have assumed it was purely creative, the reality was much more complicated. Lauren's candid reflections reveal how the pressures of fame, the expectations of television audiences, and the realities of working in the competitive entertainment industry can converge to create challenges for even the most talented and hard-working performers. Her story is a reminder that behind the glamorous facade of television and movies, there are real human experiences, struggles, and triumphs that are often hidden from public view. While Julie McCoy became a beloved character on The Love Boat, the real-life story behind her departure was more complicated and much darker than the cheerful adventures of the show. By the early 1980s, Lauren Tewes was at the height of her fame, yet the pressures of sudden stardom, combined with personal struggles, began to take a toll. She had gone from a relatively unknown actress with guest roles and commercials to the national spotlight, and with that fame came expectations she was not fully prepared to manage. Lauren herself described the period as overwhelming. She was trying to keep up with work commitments, maintain her marriage, handle household responsibilities, and manage the intense scrutiny of fans and colleagues. All of this became exhausting, and the coping mechanisms she initially thought were harmless quickly spiraled into serious challenges. One major issue was her experimentation with drugs, which began socially but escalated into a serious problem. She later admitted that the lifestyle became unsustainable as she struggled to keep her job, her relationships, and her health intact. On set, her behavior started to reflect these struggles. She was reportedly sleep-deprived, distracted, and at times unreliable, which began to concern producers and cast members. While Julie McCoy was graceful, organized, and efficient on screen, Lauren's off-screen difficulties created tension behind the scenes. Producer Aaron Spelling and other team members had to make a decision, balancing compassion for Lauren with the operational demands of a popular television show. By 1984, after years of battling personal challenges, Lauren Tewes was asked to leave The Love Boat. The official reasons given were sometimes framed as contract and salary disputes, while other reports noted that her behavior and struggles with addiction played a significant role. Regardless of specifics, the result was the same. The actress who had charmed millions of viewers was suddenly written off the series. For fans, it was a shock. Julie McCoy had been the heart of the crew's experience, and her absence left a noticeable gap. For Lauren, it was a turning point, a painful but ultimately transformative moment in her life. Although being removed from the show could have been devastating, she approached it as an opportunity to reflect, seek help, and rebuild. She later spoke candidly about the challenges she faced during this period, acknowledging that her choices had consequences, but also emphasizing her determination to recover and reclaim control over her life. Her departure illustrates a harsh reality of the entertainment industry. Success comes with pressure, scrutiny, and high stakes, and even talented actors are not immune to the personal challenges that fame can exacerbate. Yet, Lauren's story also highlights resilience. Being written off the show, while painful, did not mark the end of her career or her life. Instead, it became a catalyst for self-discovery, personal growth, and a path toward recovery that would shape her future both on and off the screen. This chapter of her life, though challenging, demonstrates how public setbacks can coexist with private courage, ultimately leading to a stronger, more grounded individual. Her honesty about this period also serves as an important reminder that behind the glamour and charm of television, real people face real struggles, and acknowledging those struggles is part of the human experience. When Lauren Tewes was written off The Love Boat, the show's producers faced the challenge of maintaining the familiar charm and warmth that her character, Julie McCoy, had brought to audiences. Julie was the heart of the crew's experience, friendly, organized, and compassionate. So her absence could not go unnoticed. To fill this void, the producers introduced a new character, Julie's younger sister, Judy McCoy, portrayed by actress Pat Klaus. Judy stepped into the role of cruise director with her own style and personality. But the transition was understandably difficult for fans who had grown attached to Lauren's portrayal of Julie. The introduction of Judy's character allowed the show to continue without a complete disruption to its dynamic, but it also highlighted how deeply Lauren's presence had impacted the series. Fans often noted that Judy could never fully replicate the warmth and charm that Lauren had naturally brought to the role. However, this was not the end of Lauren Tewes' connection to the Love Boat. Even after being replaced, she returned as a guest star in several episodes and made appearances in the television films associated with the series during the mid-1980s. Her guest appearances were a mix of nostalgia and closure, allowing both the actors and the audience to revisit Julie McCoy in meaningful ways. These limited returns highlighted a complicated but ultimately respectful relationship between Lauren and the show's producers, showing that despite her departure, there was still value placed on her contributions and talent. Her returns were not only professional opportunities, but also personal milestones, demonstrating her resilience and ability to navigate her career after a challenging period. It is also worth noting that the decision to bring her back was influenced by the steps she took to address her personal challenges. By seeking treatment and committing to recovery, Lauren signaled her dedication to both her well-being and her profession. The producers recognized this progress, giving her the chance to reconnect with the role that had launched her to fame, albeit in a more limited capacity. This period in Lauren's life illustrates an important lesson about second chances and redemption. While being replaced and written off a show could have been a source of bitterness or regret, she approached it with maturity, using the opportunity to rebuild both personally and professionally. The dynamic of the Love Boat shifted with her absence and replacement, but the essence of Julie McCoy's character remained alive through her guest appearances and the memories of dedicated fans. This chapter of Lauren's career also reflects a larger truth about the entertainment industry. Roles may be temporary, and fame can be fleeting, but integrity, resilience, and the willingness to confront personal challenges are qualities that endure beyond the camera. Through her guest appearances and later limited work on the show, Lauren Tewes not only preserved her legacy as Julie McCoy, but also set an example for others facing similar challenges. She demonstrated that setbacks do not have to define a person's life or career, and that with courage and determination, it is possible to reclaim a sense of purpose and dignity, even after public professional disappointment. For audiences, her returns were more than just cameos. They were reminders of the actress's enduring talent and the impact she had made on a generation of viewers. These experiences also paved the way for her later work, including roles outside of the Love Boat universe, showing that her career was far from over, and that true resilience involves both acknowledging past mistakes and moving forward with a renewed sense of self. After leaving the Love Boat, Lauren Tewes faced a turning point in both her career and her personal life. The fame she had enjoyed as Julie McCoy had been intense, and the pressures of working in Hollywood had left their mark. However, she did not let her departure define her or end her acting journey. Instead, she began exploring new opportunities, both on-screen and off, that allowed her to grow and redefine her career. One notable project during this period was her role in the 1978 TV movie Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, in which she played a character involved in the energetic, disciplined, and glamorous world of cheerleading. This role marked a departure from the cruise director persona that audiences had come to love, showing her range and ability to adapt to different types of characters. It also allowed her to work in a high-profile television environment without the same long-term pressures of a weekly series, giving her space to focus on her craft and her personal well-being. Beyond professional choices, Lauren Tewes focused on recovery and self-improvement. She sought treatment for challenges that had contributed to her earlier struggles, particularly with substance use, demonstrating courage and commitment to change. For Lauren, recovery was not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. She often reflected on the fact that an addict's battle never truly ends, but that conscious effort, awareness, and clear boundaries can make a difference in maintaining health and stability. This period of reflection and growth influenced the decisions she made about returning to acting. In the 1990s, she was offered the chance to cameo in The Love Boat, Valentine Voyage, a revival of the series, but she declined. Lauren understood that revisiting the role of Julie McCoy might trigger old patterns and potentially compromise her progress, demonstrating self-awareness and maturity. Instead, she continued to take roles that allowed her to pursue her career without endangering her personal development. Over time, she found balance in life, embracing opportunities both inside and outside of entertainment. She returned to education, studying culinary arts and becoming a cheese specialist, a unique and rewarding career choice that showcased her interests beyond acting. Lauren also spent time working as a sous chef in Seattle, finding satisfaction in work that was tangible, creative, and nurturing. These endeavors reflect a broader lesson about resilience. True success is not only measured by fame, but also by the ability to rebuild, explore new passions, and create a fulfilling life. Her personal life, while marked by tragedy, also demonstrated her strength. Lauren experienced heartbreak with her marriages and faced the devastating loss of her daughter, born prematurely and passing after only a month. Despite these deeply painful experiences, she continued to move forward, prioritizing her health, relationships, and sense of purpose. Her story is a testament to perseverance, showing that even when life delivers significant setbacks, both professional and personal, it is possible to rebuild, find meaning, and pursue happiness in new ways. Through her post-Love Boat career choices, her commitment to recovery, and her focus on personal fulfillment, Lauren Tewes exemplifies a journey of growth, self-discovery, and resilience. She did not allow the end of one chapter to limit the possibilities of the next, instead turning her experiences into opportunities to redefine her life on her own terms. For fans and observers, her path is an inspiring example of how challenges, when met with courage and reflection, can lead to a richer, more balanced, and ultimately more meaningful life, both on and off the screen. Lauren's legacy, therefore, extends beyond her iconic role as Julie McCoy. It is also a story of overcoming adversity, embracing change, and finding purpose beyond fame. Lauren Tewes' career and personal journey left a lasting mark on television history and on the hearts of fans around the world. While she is best known as Julie McCoy, the charismatic cruise director of the Love Boat, her legacy extends far beyond a single role. Julie McCoy was more than just a character. She represented warmth, intelligence, and empathy. Audiences connected with her not only because of her charm and beauty, but because she embodied a sense of care and guidance that made the fictional cruise ship feel real. Lauren's portrayal of Julie set a standard for television roles that combined professionalism with personality, showing that a female character could be central to a story without relying solely on romance or sexuality. Even decades later, fans recall her energy, her kindness, and her ability to make every scene feel welcoming. Lauren Tewes' influence is also evident in the way she inspired her audience. Fans often wrote letters sharing how much they appreciated Julie McCoy's guidance and personality, with some recounting dressing up as a character for Halloween or imitating her famous lines. This level of admiration is rare and highlights how a character played with authenticity can impact generations. Beyond fan interaction, Lauren's continued presence in television, though selective, demonstrates a commitment to her craft. She made appearances in various projects, including a 2017 revival of Twin Peaks, showing that her acting abilities remain strong even decades after her most famous role. Her willingness to embrace new opportunities while maintaining careful boundaries reflects a balance of professional dedication and personal self-care. Additionally, her pursuit of interests outside of acting, such as culinary arts and becoming a cheese specialist, showcases her multifaceted life and her ability to find joy and purpose beyond the entertainment industry. These endeavors also reinforce the message that identity and fulfillment are not limited to a single career path. Despite the challenges she faced, early fame, personal struggles, addiction, and the tragic loss of her daughter, Lauren Tewes has maintained resilience and integrity. Her story serves as an example of perseverance and personal growth, demonstrating that setbacks do not define a person's life, and that recovery, reinvention, and legacy building are possible even after public and private difficulties. The recognition of her contributions also continued through events such as the Love Boat cast receiving a Hollywood Walk of Fame star in celebration of the show's 40th anniversary. For Lauren, this moment symbolized acknowledgement not only of her performance, but also of her impact on television history and pop culture. In reflecting on her career, Lauren has spoken about how proud she is of her work and the enduring affection of fans. Her legacy is a combination of professional achievement, personal courage, and the influence she continues to have on viewers who remember her as Julie McCoy, the ever-supportive cruise director who made adventures on the high seas feel like a personal experience. Ultimately, Lauren Tewes' story teaches that fame, while fleeting, can leave a lasting imprint when paired with talent, integrity, and resilience. She remains an inspiration, showing that true legacy is about more than just the roles played on screen. It is about the lives touched, the challenges overcome, and the ability to grow and thrive despite life's obstacles. While Lauren Tewes' professional life was filled with both triumphs and challenges, her personal life was marked by a mixture of love, heartbreak, and resilience that shaped her as a person beyond the screen. Throughout her life, Lauren experienced the complexities of relationships and family in ways that mirrored the depth and vulnerability she brought to her roles. She was married 3 times, each marriage reflecting different chapters of her life and personal growth. Her first marriage was to a television director, an early relationship that introduced her to the intersection of personal and professional life in Hollywood. The marriage, while significant, was not without its struggles, as Lauren navigated the pressures of fame alongside the demands of personal partnership. Her second marriage was to an Italian drummer, a union that highlighted her desire to connect with creative and passionate individuals. Though it ultimately ended in divorce, this chapter of her life provided valuable lessons about compatibility, communication, and personal priorities. Lauren's third marriage, to stage actor Richard Nadir, proved to be a profound and deeply meaningful relationship. With him, she shared both joy and tragedy, demonstrating her capacity for love and her strength in the face of heartbreak. In 1987, Lauren gave birth to her daughter with Nadir, a moment that should have been one of the happiest in her life. Tragically, the baby was born prematurely and passed away after only 1 month. This devastating loss left an indelible mark on Lauren, shaping her perspective on life, love, and resilience. Despite the heartbreak, she continued to persevere, finding ways to honor her experiences and move forward with a sense of purpose. Beyond romantic relationships, Lauren's personal growth also involved confronting her own struggles with addiction and the challenges of public life. Her willingness to seek treatment, reflect on her experiences, and make intentional decisions about her career and personal well-being illustrates a remarkable level of self-awareness and maturity. These personal choices were not easy, particularly in an industry that often emphasizes image over individual growth. But Lauren demonstrated that prioritizing health balance and personal fulfillment is essential. Over the years, Lauren Tewes cultivated a life that balanced professional endeavors, personal passions, and meaningful relationships. She pursued culinary arts, became a cheese specialist, and even worked as a sous chef, showcasing her ability to find joy and accomplishment outside of fame. These pursuits reflect her commitment to personal growth and her understanding that identity and purpose extend beyond acting. Moreover, Lauren's experiences have served as a source of inspiration for fans who appreciate the resilience required to navigate both public and private challenges. Her story demonstrates that while fame and success can provide opportunities and recognition, the real measure of strength lies in confronting adversity, embracing recovery, and making intentional choices that reflect personal values. In reflecting on her life, Lauren has expressed gratitude for the lessons learned from both triumphs and hardships. Her marriages, the loss of her child, and her journey through addiction were undeniably painful. Yet they also contributed to a depth of character and perspective that informs her legacy. By sharing her story with honesty and openness, Lauren Tewes provides an enduring example of how to navigate life's complexities with courage, grace, and resilience, leaving a lasting impression not only through her iconic role as Julie McCoy, but also through the personal strength and integrity she continues to embody. After decades in the public eye and navigating the pressures of fame, Lauren Tewes eventually found a rhythm that balanced personal fulfillment with professional satisfaction. Having experienced the highs of television stardom and the lows of personal struggles, she approached her later life with intentionality, focusing on pursuits that brought her joy, creativity, and purpose. One of the most notable aspects of this period was her exploration of the culinary world. Lauren enrolled in culinary school, where she specialized in cheese, becoming a certified cheese expert, a path that might surprise those who only know her as the iconic cruise director Julie McCoy. Her dedication to mastering a craft outside of acting shows her versatility and commitment to life